Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening, or good night. This is Jen at JensArtyInclinations, a place to create, share, and play.
Hello everyone, it's Junk Journal January again. So today's prompt is garden, and I've got something a little bit different for you today. I decided I'd make up some journal cards for garden today instead of actually working directly in my journal. So I'm going to bring you along for the ride, and you can see how I bumble my way through doing these as little digital prints. So I'm using Canva, and I literally click on this button that says create a new design, and if I type in A4, that's our normal printer paper size. I haven't really gotten into anything more complicated than this. So I'm doing a landscape, which is sitting across. Then you click on elements, which is on the left-hand side there. And I'm looking up tag, so you can see, tags that you can put in. But then I thought, no, I'll just make it simple. I'll just do a journal card. So next I've typed in card, and it brings up all the cards. Now, this is the cool little trick that I learnt, and that is if you go across that top to frames, then you've got all these frame options, and they all do kind of different things, but these are the shapes that it's given me for card. So I'm just going to choose that first one to make it easy, and voila, there it is. I just want to change the colour, so I'm clicking the colour box on the top there, and then I can make it white on the side. And then I can move that about on the screen. Now I can copy it by pressing those two little squares with the plus. So now I've copied 3. And then I can actually select all 3 at once. If I click on those 3 little dots, so in Apple, whenever you see the 3 little dots, it's like the little cog. And if you click on select multiple, then I can click on as many things as I need to. Once I've done it, I click done, and then I can group them. And that just means I can resize them all together. Now, I know I've run through this really, really quickly, but if you actually get in there, you'll find it really easy. Now, I did end up signing up and doing the pro version, but there's loads for free in there. So you see how I just copied all 3 at once. Then I worked out that, it's all too big. So I mucked about with the bottom one, and then I copied it back, and then I deleted the top one and copied it back up. You'll see me do that in just a moment. But yeah, it's surprisingly intuitive. I encourage you to have a go, to keep trying. I have had a few false starts and, got myself so confused. So I've gone back to the beginning again, and it was only that I really, really, really needed a particular element for the steampunk stuff that I've been doing that I persisted. So yeah, persistence will pay off. All right, now the beautiful thing is it has all these images that you can use. And as long as you change them, then you can actually, you can use them in your own work, obviously, but as long as you can change them, you can actually, resell them if that's what you do. Don't quote me on the terms and conditions. I'm just using them for myself at the moment. But I've looked up garden, I've grabbed a flower that's in those elements there, and I've dragged it across, and it will go into those frames. Isn't that wonderful? So easy. So I just wanted to really show you that. So once you get a little frame, you can then put things into that frame, which is lovely. Now, if it doesn't quite sit where you want it to sit, if you double click on it, so tap the screen twice, you can then move it so that you can sit it wherever you want in that frame, up a little bit, down a little bit, across to the side a little bit. So once you're happy with all of that, then you can add elements on top. Now you can add more frames on top and do all of that, but it's just as easy if I'm just going to add one thing on top, no guesses for what I'm going to add. Anyone who's watched me for any length of time will know that the first thing I'm going to go to is a butterfly. But before I do that, I'll just show you, I've clicked on that square. Then I've changed the colour. So I've clicked on that square, I click the colour boxes at the top, And then I use that left scroll bar to decide which colours. So you can use gradients, you can use, single colours, all sorts of different things. So you can actually pick it exactly if you want to. So that's what I've done here, because I just wanted it really, really pale, pale, peachy, browny yellow, whatever that colour there in the background is. So then once I've chosen a colour once, if I click the rest of them, I can then do the same just by clicking the colour, which makes that quite easy. I decided I didn't like that flower in the bottom, so I changed it. All right, so now I'm looking up butterfly. Now I use graphics or photos, so I always choose from one or the other of those. Now, if I just use my butterfly here, it will replace the flowers. So to avoid that, you click that little padlock. And then that locks the background. Sometimes you need to click the lock twice, but that locks the background so that you can put things over your image without replacing your image. And then all I'm doing is I'm grabbing those little flat lines to crop the butterfly up to the edge of the, the journal card. Another quick trick, flip horizontal. You can flip your images to face the other way. And look, that's the basics, and honestly, that's enough. The other thing, if you do a photo, if you double click on the photo, then you'll find in the top left there, on the top left menu, you can click that button to get rid of the background. So how cool is that? So you can use photos or graphics, and you can clip off just the image. The other thing I do is I literally copy photos from I haven't even worked out how to get my photos into Canva yet. So I just pull up my photo folder and I click copy, and then I paste them onto the Canva canvas. So like I say, really, really basic. Thought I'd take you along for a bit of my process. It's very early days. Hopefully I'll do a more comprehensive tutorial on this later, because I think it's a wonderful thing for junk journalers to have. I'm not sponsored or anything, but Canva's just handy because it's got those images in there. So if you need something quickly, then you can go in there and just create it. All right, so as the final little piece, just to print it out, I've found that if I save it into my files on my iPad, then I can print it. So you click that little box with the arrow pointing up, which is, exporting it. You want to download and you change it. It'll be defaulted to PNG, so you change it to PDF, and then it'll bring up your normal menu on your iPad and you can save it into your files. So then from there, you can print it. So I hope you enjoyed this. As I said, something quite different today, and you will see me use these journal cards later in this week, I think, or is it early next week? So yeah, look forward to showing you the results. Take care. See you tomorrow. Love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy.